page on Google and make sure it's engaged. We can start this way. Ready? All right, you roll on then.
World skills for young and proud visions. World skills, creativity and innovation. World skills. Let's shape our world-class workforce today. Be leaders in all we do. Building up our economy, Barbados we will improve. World skills, 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 world skills.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day number 2, where the action is heating up in the World Skills Barbados Competition 2023. Once again, we have cooking going on in the background. Part number 2 is happening today. It's all about a lacto-vegetarian meal. You also have to prepare a bread basket and 2 vegetables as well today. There's also going to be the restaurant service also going on, and today is all about the banquet module. My name is Joel Manning. It's an absolute pleasure to be here at the Lloyd Erskine Sanford Center to taking all of this lovely action again. But before we do, let's head to a quick social media video now with Sonia Hill.
Hi, I am Sonia Hill. I am from Jamaica and I competed in the skill area mobile robotics at the World Skills Special Edition competition last year. Looking back on this photo, I remember feeling stressed yet hopeful that everything will work out. I occasionally work with mobile robotics. However, I am now within the solar energy sector as a sales engineer where I use technology to design 3D representations of solar systems to propose to clients on behalf of the company. Competing in World Skills has made me a better engineer. It has helped me to sharpen my skills in becoming more precise and organized. It has helped me to become more confident in the work that I do and the way I present myself. I'd like to encourage anyone who is watching this video to spread your wings and reach for the sky. There is a lot of opportunities out there waiting for you.
It's certainly a fantastic experience there for Sonia in the World Skills Barbados competition. But let's take a look back now at day number 1 on screen. You can probably look and see that there's that cooking, and there were a couple dishes that they had to prepare. The first thing was in the 2.5 hours where they had to prepare an egg meal, and I was wondering, whether or not we'd have a basic fried egg or maybe a scrambled egg, but of course not. All the skills on display here, and it was 5 hours of cooking that we had yesterday, and these are some of the dishes that the students in the World Skills Barbados competition were able to prepare in those 5 hours. They're currently in the kitchen once again sweating away because, trust me, it is not easy here. All of them are going after what would be that champion title. All of them want to be the winner. And then we also had the bar service module in the restaurant service yesterday as well, and I had a chance to talk to one of the mentors. He was telling me it was all about that perfect pour. As you can see the champagne glasses in the background there. It was all about that perfect pour. It's all about the service and ensuring that it's a wonderful experience for all on hand. And everybody that had a chance to be inside of that restaurant service area, they certainly enjoyed. There were some hors d'oeuvres that were served as well. And of course, it's all about service with a smile, because these are the starting grounds for what will be the future of skills in Barbados. Not just in restauranting, but in everything out. So certainly was a beautiful looking at day one. But I think that we have Rosina on hand who's getting ready to have an interview, the first interview of this morning. So Rosina, it's over to you.
I think talking in the AC. No.
And we're back. And here with me is Technical Officer Communications of the TVET Council, Samantha Jones.
Hello.
Welcome, Samantha.
Thank you, thank you.
It's great. A pleasure, actually, to be here with you. I watched you on some of the programs in the past. You were on the other side of the mic.
Yes, I
and
was.
today you're here in this position. So tell me, TVET Council, how is the TVET Council involved with this competition that we are seeing here today?
The TVET Council is responsible for managing the World Skills Barbados program. TVET Council, as the government agency responsible for overseeing education and training, say about in 2011, 2012, found out about the World Skills program and realized that, and this is the World Skills International program, realized that the World Skills International program, also like the TVET Council, was using occupational standards to drive training and to promote training and assessment and to help improve the quality of education and training worldwide. So the TVET Council, as the government agency which promotes competence-based education and training, which essentially is training, assessing, and certifying to standards, decided, well, this is something worth pursuing. We had our first competition in 2012. It's a biennial competition, so since 2012, we've pretty much had a competition every 2 years. We went to international, before we went international, we went to the World Skills Americas, which is the regional program, competition that's held in Latin America, and we took part in hairdressing. So that was in 2012, 2014, and we had a silver medal in 2012, a bronze medal in 2014. And the first time we took part in the international competition was in 2017. That was World Skills Abu Dhabi in, the Arab Emirates, right? And so essentially the purpose of the program is to help Barbados improve the quality of education and training. The mission of the TVET Council is, or our slogan is that TVET, the discipline of TVET, technical and vocational education and training, is the key to a world-class workforce. And Barbados has a history of investing heavily in education. Education and training is just another component of that, right? And so while we think a lot about education, we're accustomed to academics. When I say that, meaning we're accustomed to knowledge. We're accustomed to, the whole notion of written exams and doing exams. Education and training now is where especially technical and vocational education and training is the intersection of academic and practical learning. So when you add the component of the standards then, that helps to make sure that education and training is being conducted to a standard that is recognized not only nationally, but regionally and internationally. So to sum up, the TVET Council is responsible for the World Skills Barbados program. We oversee it. We sit on the World Skills International, which is the international body that manages the World Skills program. We represent Barbados on that body. And as part of representing Barbados on that body, we host the national competition, we select a team, and we go to international. Now, that is what we do, but how that benefits us is that the World Skills program has a lot of resources. And so we are able to get continuing professional development for teachers, for our experts. Our experts, the skills experts, like Chef Peter Edie for cooking, they are both, in some instances, they're trainers themselves. They're all practitioners, right? And so it means then that they get to make sure that their skills and their knowledge remains cutting edge. The experts assist us with running the program. And outside of the experts, we also are able to access training for other educators, other trainers, especially the ones who are in the TVET discipline. In other words, they might be delivering a TVET program or a TVET course, whether it be, could be something to do with computers, right? It could be something to do with, like say, auto mechanics. It could be actually, I think some of them, I can't remember the name of it, but it was to do with, can't remember. It's a training to do with technology.
Yeah.
And so some of our experts and our trainers were able to access that. And, you know, that's very important to us because most instances, anytime you want to access continuing professional development, you have to pay for it each and every time.
Yeah.
What the World Skills Program permits us to do is to get opportunities that might be available that don't come at an additional cost because we are a member, right? Right, and that's at the level of the professional.
Yeah.
But at the level of our young people, we have access to the World Skills Standards. So the World Skills Standards are standards that the best practice countries internationally review. And every 2 years, most of these standards are updated. And when that happens, we then have access to those standards. So the TVET Council promotes training, assessment, and certification to standards, which means then that we are able to benchmark our national standards and our regional standards against the World Skills Standards. Now, I've been with the TVET for a while, so I remember when it was you had to buy standards. You had to pay for them. You know, you had to pay for the privilege of being able to use another country's standards. But by virtue of being in the World Skills Program, we now have access to internationally approved standards that all we have to do is we have to adapt them and adopt them. So when that happens, what that means then is that the experts, the professionals, people in industry will look at the standards. People will review the standards. We will say what works in Barbados, what suits our environment, what suits our context. And then once that is done, the TVET Council will package the standards and make them available to the training providers so that they could develop curricula from those standards. And we've actually also started the process of helping to develop that curriculum.
Okay.
So this is all part of the process of making sure that our education and training system remains relevant.
Yeah.
I know that sometimes we look and we think, oh, things are not happening fast enough, or we think we're not satisfied with the quality. But what I can say is that the opportunity is there, and wherever opportunity exists, the TVET Council tries to pursue that opportunity. And right now, the World Skills Program is definitely that opportunity, right? So at the end of this, the next, say, 3 to 5 days, what will happen is the competitors will finish the competition. We will have a closing ceremony. We will, you know, based on the results, determine who medals, who has met the World Skills Standards, and then the next step is that we will look to see, do we have a team for international? And the process of training starts again. And so over the period that we've been going to international, we have been steadily improving the level of performance. I think we still have some gaps, and the gaps are that we don't have a system that has the kind of resources that they do internationally. So like they start training their young people, you know, for work a lot earlier than we do. So we've been trying to address some of those gaps. And also by exposing them to the international standards earlier, that helps the process of improvement. Also, more importantly, taking them to see how other young people, you know, at their level, how the term they use at World Skills International is young skilled professional. And these young people are simply amazing. But when you talk to them, when you talk to their coaches, their trainers, etc., you realize what goes into making them amazing. And the only thing they have on us is that they have more resources. And this is what I mean. So you can start your training at, say, I don't know, 14, 16, whatever age. And for the period that you're training, you can get financial support, right? Even especially like when they're picking their World Skills teams. Here, our young people, once they finish school, they have to work. So it means that when they're training, they're trying to juggle it with work. We've been fortunate in that we have some sponsors who have assisted us where possible, especially, so for example, if you're a business and one of our competitors works with you, we will consider it sponsorship or partner support if you give them the time and make them available so that they can train.
Correct.
Right? So that level of support really helps. But going forward, what we really need is, I think some of the key things we need is to have the standards fully integrated into the curricula of the training institutions, because World Skills is not just about the competition. The World Skills program is to improve the quality of education and training in Barbados, which means all young people should have access to training based on those standards, right? That's one. Two, it means that we can develop a cadre of expertise and excellence, because World Skills International says that they are promoting skills and excellence. So an example would be, we have the national qualifications, NVQs, Caribbean Vacation Qualifications, right? The regional equivalent. And so when you, as an institution, use those standards for training, assessment, and certification, it means that the persons who train will get assessed and be certified as competent. World Skills takes it a step further. They don't talk about standards of competence. They talk about standards of excellence.
Correct.
Right? So they're developing a cadre of high-performing persons. And we want to make sure that Barbados is part of that. Right? Because, like I said, we have our history as people who support education. We spend a lot of money on education. I think personally it has helped Barbados and Barbadians. Speaking as a Barbadian, working class Barbadian, I have seen how education has helped me and my peers. And the process of educating might change, but the opportunity to make it available should never change, right? Because there's still too many young people out there. That's their only opportunity, their only avenue to improve the quality of their life.
And actually, Samantha, I do agree with everything you've said there, because lo and behold, I'm actually a product of that, because I did one of your programs with the last company that I worked with, and with regards to management level 3. And I have to say it was an excellent program.
Well, I'm happy to hear that.
I had a wonderful time there.
Excellent,
So,
excellent.
What I understand is that when you have that certification, you can actually travel throughout the region.
Right.
And if you want to work in another island or country, you can actually use it.
Right, and the important thing about it is that, like I said, it's the integration of practical and academic learning. Because, I mean, like, for example, my background is in communications. And I was fortunate in that I went to Barbados Community College and I did an internship. So when I went to university, I was able to see how what I learned in the classroom did not always translate directly into work. That work experience is so important, right? And when I first came to TVET Council, I remember thinking, if we'd had occupational standards then, it would have made the process of learning even easier. But even without that at the time, having the opportunity to learn in the classroom and then apply it in the workplace. So by the time I went into the media, I remember thinking to myself, you know, I know this stuff. I've done this stuff, right? And it was the internship that did it for me. So I'm a firm supporter of internships, job attachments, work attachments. I actually wish we had a national program whereby every student has the opportunity to do a work attachment or job attachment and have that contribute to part of the learning. Because I think that's one of the most important things that happened to me in my life as a young person, that internship, right? But yeah, so the NCVQs, they go hand in hand with practical learning, the application of knowledge, right? So I'm happy to hear that you did it.
Thank you.
I'm hoping it's still, you know, helping you even today.
Yes, I am actually. And as you were talking, the term came into my mind, practice makes perfect. So when you give these students here the opportunity to do what they're doing here today, and then they can go out into the world of work or wherever they go, and they get that opportunity to practice it, and they will get better and better. Because of course they're the future for Barbados. They have to represent Barbados. And based on the winners going out internationally to do a competition, when all of that is done, do y'all ever place winners, like say internationally in other countries to maybe intern as an internship?
Well, we haven't had that opportunity. What happens is like, so for example, in the run up to the competition, we try to identify opportunities for international competition or to get practice. So we might go to, for the most part, Latin America. We've had opportunities or offers from like places like China, but you got to get there, right? So they will only cover some of your costs. They won't cover all your costs. But after that, after the competition, what we're trying to do now is put a program in place so that once you go to international, because you get into international says that you have demonstrated that you could perform at a certain level. It demonstrates your competence and it demonstrates your ability to achieve excellence. So we're now trying to liaise with our partners and supporters to find opportunities, because it's like when you are a sports person and you represent Barbados, that says something about your commitment to discipline. It says something about your commitment to being an uplifting person. It says something about your leadership potential. So we have an opportunity to identify future leaders for Barbados through all these different programs that we offer here. And I think in a similar fashion, that the World Skills Program is an opportunity for you to identify young people who are hungry to show the best that they have to offer. And I think that the country, whether you be in the private sector or the public sector or the NGO, these are young people that we should support as much as possible. And this is an opportunity that every Bajan should have, every Bajan young person. Right? So it is, a lot of countries don't do it the way we do it. We try to make it very open. Some countries don't do that. They might handpick. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to handpick. Right?
Equal opportunity.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So we have a democratic society and we try to take a democratic approach. Of course, that comes with the downside. And because it means then that, we might not be on the same page in terms of our priorities. So that is where democracy sometimes becomes a little ticklish. But as an adult, as adult individuals, and then even as a country that is, an adult country, that's where we should have conversations. So how can we make this work for both of us? So like I said, we're still looking for those opportunities. What has happened so far coming out of international? And I must say that we're one of the smallest countries in the World Skills International Program. And we actually get a fair amount of support. I'm quite pleased with it. And I must say I'm grateful for it. So like, for example, the World Skills Champions Trust, one of the members on the World Skills Champions Trust, which is a committee that is made up of competitors, former persons who took part in international competitions. So they have input into the World Skills International Association and into how the programs, because they're geared towards young people. So they're the voice of young people that World Skills International looks to. And we have a Barbadian on that committee, Shea White, right? Yeah, exactly. And so she recently, I think, they have like a 2-year term, and I think her term got renewed. Yeah, exactly. So there's Shay there who's representing Barbados. We're hopeful that we would have the opportunity to get somebody else on that committee. But outside of that, we're actively looking for, opportunities to get work experience, attachments, internships, even possibly jobs, right? And the reason why that's possible is because World Skills also gives you opportunity to network. So the lead officer for the World Skills Barbados program, Daria Walcott, he actually sits on the board of the World Skills Americas. And so that gives us a voice at the regional level. And also we engage very strongly with World Skills International at the international level. So we are looking for opportunities, always looking for opportunities for Barbados.
Okay. With regards to funding, now the competitors that I spoke with, the past competitors actually that I had the opportunity to speak with yesterday, day one, most of them actually opened their own business. They had the opportunity to do that. Now, what happens with someone who has done this competition, wants to open their own business, but does not have the funding? Can they come to TVET Council and get assistance?
No, that's not how we're set up.
Okay.
So the TVET Council has a fund. It's the Employment and Training Fund.
Okay.
But the Employment and Training Fund only kicks in after you've already been a business, after you've already set up your business.
Okay.
And once you have 5 or more staff members, you can access that fund to pay for training, right? So we will subsidize the cost of your training to your staff up to 75%.
Okay.
Now that fund is made up of monies from the TVET. It's a tax, right? So technical and vocational education and training, right? And it's a tax that every employer and employee contributes to. I think it's 0.5%.
Okay.
So as an employee, you pay 0.5%. Your employer pays 0.5%.
Okay.
The government then uses that and will use it to give you a grant, a training grant as an employer. But you have to meet certain criteria. Because the purpose of the fund is to promote standards and to promote training based on standards. So in other words, we want you to pursue training that will actually matter, right? Which means it has to have a standard, right? But we don't have a fund for the, say, the person who wants to set up a business. However, government has other programs. In the same way that the TVET Council exists, government has other agencies where you might be able to access funding to start a small business.
Right.
You might be able to access not just funds to start the business, but to give training, you know, teach you about business management, about marketing, things of that nature. So the most important thing is for you to check around, right?
Okay.
I mean, you can call the Barbados Government Information Service.
Okay.
There are places you can go to get that information.
Right.
So we might not be able to do that for them, but we keep in contact with the persons who reach out to us. We have a WorldSkills Barbados Champions Committee, right, which is made up of former competitors, like similar to WorldSkills Champions Class.
Yeah.
And so the persons who sit on that committee interact with us closely.
Okay.
They're actually here at the competition.
Yeah.
Right. And then also they have other persons who are in the competition that they stay in contact with. So through word of mouth, somebody might want information. We will share information with them.
Okay.
If they want support, we will support them. But we are not set up to give individual funding.
Correct.
We are set up to fund businesses, organizations,
Right.
very specifically with regards to training.
Correct.
Right? Access to training.
All right.
Yeah.
So I know you're a very busy lady. I'm not going to keep you very much longer, but I do have this question in my mind. If I wanted to be a participant in this competition, how do I go about it?
Well, you have to be 16 to 21, but you look like 21, but.
So it looks like I just missed it.
Okay, only just. Right, so so how it works is this. Like I said, remember the reason that the competition exists, that the WorldSkills program exists, is to improve the quality, help improve the quality of the TVET system.
Correct.
Technical and vocational education and training system.
Yeah.
And what is the TVET system? The TVET system is really the training institutions and the programs that prepare our young people for work, that prepare our not so young people for work. But in particular, the WorldSkills program targets young people in the 16 to 22 age group.
Okay.
That's their, you know, I suppose the
range,
age in which, right, the age range
range, yeah.
in which they train and prepare young people for work. We cut off at 21 though, because we want to make sure that our young people can meet the criteria to go to international.
Right,
So because our competition is held the year before, so we do every 2 years, they do every 2 years. So our national competition is held so that there's a year to go to prepare for international.
So they will still fall within that age
Right,
category.
exactly. Right. So
Okay.
that's one of the criteria. You have to be between 16 and 21. Once you are in a training institution, whether it's a private training institution or a government training institution, so we're talking about the SJPI, right? We're talking about BCC, we're talking about Barbados Vocational Training Board, BVTB, right? Or even, like I said, the private training institutions, once you are a student and they're interested, they can reach out to us. The next question is, are they able to meet the criteria?
Yeah.
So we will share the standards and the test projects with them. We will go through with them. This is what your students will have to know and be able to do. And based on that, then they will determine, are we able to go to prelims? Because we usually have a preliminaries. We didn't have one this year because we're still pretty much coming out of COVID. So the institutions are trying to get back on track. We are trying to get back on track. So this is the first competition we've had since COVID has settled down, right? And so because of that, the institutions were not able to take part in all of the occupational areas, the skill areas that they would normally take part in. So normally we might have up to about 8 skills. So we got like beauty therapy, hairdressing, we have graphic design. So some of those skills are not here. And so what we did was we didn't have a preliminaries this time around.
Yeah.
We said to the institutions, okay, because the preliminaries are held in like between January, February, early in the year. So we said to them, we're not going to have the preliminaries. What we will do is allow you to pick your best, right? And so this is a way for us to ease back into having the competition under normal conditions.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So these institutions will normally, whether you take part in preliminaries, so they will pick people for the preliminaries, right? Or they did their internal assessment this time. So you take part in the preliminaries, and once you meet the cutoff mark, you have to get at least 50%. Once you meet the cutoff mark, then you go through to the finals. So this essentially is the finals of the WorldSkills Barbados competition. Right?
Okay.
So that's, outside of that, we have discussed from time to time other possibilities. But I suppose the crux of it is that if the program is to be a success, it has to be a success where everybody has an opportunity to benefit. It can't be with few.
Right.
So, and when we say that, we mean all the training institutions, right? The idea is that the system has to improve. So, because of that, we try to make sure that whatever we do is something that is achievable and of benefit to the training institutions.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Samantha, thank you so much. You've given us lots of food for thought. It's been a pleasure meeting you, and I do wish you all the best with this competition.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Well, there we have it, folks. I missed the boat, unfortunately, so I can't be a competitor. But maybe I'll tag along when they go to France. But we're here at WorldSkills Barbados 2023 competition at the Lloyd Erskine Sandiford Center. Thank you for watching. We'll be right back.
Bye-bye.
World skills for young and proud Bajans. World skills, creativity and innovation. World skills that shape our world-class workforce today. Be leaders in all we do. Building up our economy, Barbados we will improve. World skills, 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 world skills.
And I'll be competing in the skill area of cooking in the World Skills Barbados competition. Well, I always had a love for creative arts, and I believe that cooking is a part of that. And from since I was in secondary school, I had a love for it. So I always used to be cooking with my family in the kitchen, with my grandmother, trying to cook up new recipes. And I just loved the joy that came to people's faces when I made food for them. We are having training days twice a week coming up to the competition, which is in 2 weeks. And so we're just holding our skills, our knife cuts, preparing for the tasks that we have, and just building more confidence as we go into the competition. So right now I'm really enjoying the training that we're going through. I think I have the same expectations and goals as everyone. I want to win. So that is my main goal in mind, to win, and just to also become more confident in my skill and to just push myself and push my limits. That's what I really want. Well, World Skills is honestly the Olympics of skills. So I believe if I want to go to the international level to, again, push myself and to just be among creatives, and to just network and to just grow in my field. So in the future, I want to also go after my bachelor's to just continue to grow and to continue to grow my portfolio in the industry.
World skills for young and proud Bajans. World skills, creativity and innovation. World skills that shape our world-class workforce today. Be leaders in all we do. Building up our economy, Barbados we will improve. World skills, 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 world skills.
Together means the same thing. You just come this way now. Together me. You relaxing.
Like me, you're different job. You're walking on the job. This lady here. Quite know that. Joe doing it. Joe doing it. Joe. Come.
So you are Shane Watson. What is your?
You got this guy's info? Diamond? Wait, this person's name?
Are we doing Shane?
Shane. He's a cool.
Pardon me?
Who's the cool? Any better?
Pardon me?
Any better?
I have Amy in there. Right here, or we push it back?
Lemon, put your camera in on this thing. You want me to do it through?
I've got Chef Shane Watson with me right now. What's even more special about having Shane here is that, in fact, Shane was one of the first competitors in what was the inaugural World Skills Barbados contest. Shane, how did it feel being back and knowing that you were pretty much the first to be here?
Well, firstly, it's great to see the improvement on the competition itself. When it was in the competition, there were not half of these things here. Obviously, being the inaugural, we're still like finding our feet. To see all of this now is very exciting and is a great step for these students coming up. They have an opportunity that I myself did not even have fully.
Yeah, let's take you back all those years ago, before you became a chef, while you were still looking to get your skills. What was it like being a part of that competition?
First, it was nerve-wracking, so I could understand how all these competitors feel. It was time-consuming, one, because it was a case where I was working as well as doing the competition, so my focus was split between the two. However, it was also a great learning experience. It helped me a lot in my career outside the competition. It taught me time management. It taught me life skills in general. So it was a great experience.
Yeah, and quite a few years on from there now, because you've been a chef for over 10 years.
Yes, please.
At the moment, December, you said it's what, 13 years?
13 years.
Yeah, that's quite a bit of time there.
Yeah.
Shane, now that you have a chance, one, to be a chef, you're also now a coach as well. What's some of the advice that you've been handing on to the students you have in the competition?
Well, firstly, I'll say, when I first started as a chef, one of my main goals was to also become a teacher, to pass on the knowledge that I gained. So, like, for me, my advice to them is to always remain positive, always be organized. As long as you organize, it's almost impossible to fail. Once you have a plan, correct you on the correct path. And also to remember, write down, and execute everything. Straight execution is key. You can know everything if you can't get executed. Understand? So we work a lot on execution.
All right, and now in terms of a lot of that writing down, so this is day 2. What are some of the things that we're writing down? Because as far as I know, I think it is that there's supposed to be a lacto-vegetarian dish for today. Yeah, just take us through, like, what are some of those things that we're writing on day number 2 here?
All right, day number 2. Okay, like, so for instance, for the lacto-vegetarian, in case anybody doesn't know exactly what it is, lacto-vegetarians, they are vegetarian, yes. However, they can have, like, milk, cheese products. On the flip side, they don't have animal products. So it's mindful to know this is the difference between lacto-vegetarian, vegan, and regular vegetarian, pescatarian. So that's one of the things they write down so that they know exactly what they're cooking, what meal they're preparing, who they're preparing it for. Also, they write down, obviously, ingredients, equipment, stuff that you don't want to forget. Like if you know that one of your problems is, I forget to put onions in this, they will write it down. So you know, this is one of my steps I have to follow. Yeah.
And then now, I guess basically because it's 3 days of cooking. So yesterday it was the egg dish and a couple other things. And today it is the main course included as well with, I think it was a bread basket and 2 cooked vegetables or something like that. Then now, take me now into day 3 so we can get a bit of an insight of what we can look forward to tomorrow.
Day 3 now we'll be on to the dessert portion, and I think they have to do a speed test as well on day 3. Speed test entails like how fast you can separate, let's say, 12 eggs in a certain amount of time, make a perfect meringue that you could hold the bowl upside down. So that's just a way for the judges to see if they can perform certain skills. The dessert section, now that's going to be very interesting for the people that got sweet tooth. Yeah, trust me, students are being very creative with these desserts. They were given a criteria to follow, however, everybody put their own twist on it, so it should be exciting.
I have one final question. You talked about that speed test, you know, how fast can you separate 12 eggs? How fast can you separate them?
Want to see?
If we can, yeah, we can see how we can. But give me an estimate on timing.
Well, I never really timed myself per se, but I say about 3 to 5 minutes at most.
That's a cracker.
That would be more than 12 eggs. So I say about 20 eggs.
20 eggs. Yeah. All right.
So we can see.
I never tried separating. It's crack when you inside the pan. And pelting. Stir and shake and go for a day.
I could teach you.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I've been learning so much here and certainly looking forward to learning a lot more. But hey, talking about learning, let's learn now about another student who was a part of this World Skills Barbados competition.
everyone just thought of like it was just yesterday. The Russian dancers greeted us at the welcoming ceremony. It was exciting. They helped us relax. It was great. Yes, I'm still in graphic design. Well, my future goals is to expand on my graphic design business and also branch out into other business ventures using my graphic design skills. Yes, I have advice personally to do. You should try and participate in World Skills Barbados. You're going to meet new people so that you can networking. You may even see someone in the same skill area as you that using methods and techniques that will make your skill easier. So yes, you should.
The name Tanisha Hall has been going through my mind all yesterday and last night. I met this young lady yesterday, day one, and I've been looking forward to having this interview with her today because I know she has lots of exciting things to share with us. Tanisha Hall is the winner of the World Skills Barbados competition in 2016. Tanisha, welcome.
Hi.
So tell me, and the audience, of course, what was your experience like in 2016? You're a big winner, so you should be really excited. Tell us about it.
Well, I had a really good experience with the Barbados World Skills and the TBAC Council. I was glad and I was very happy for the exposure. It teaching me my lessons in time management and what's not, and how to explore and in different dishes.
Okay, so yesterday when we met,
Yes,
we shared a good bit. You're a businesswoman.
Yes.
I mean, you're a winner. You traveled. I'm not going to get to that as yet, but I want you to tell us, how did you get involved in that competition in 2016? Why did you get involved?
Okay, well, it first started when my time I was 4 years old. I was in the kitchen doing different stuff, and we opened an establishment, a family business, in 2000, and I think it was when I was 14 years old.
Okay.
So yeah, that. And from there, it just flourished. We started doing rotis, burgers, pie, different pastry dishes, and as the years went on, we expanded. Then later on, I finished my studies at the Barbados Vocational Training Board, which my expert was Mr. Steve Phillips.
Okay. That's Chef Steve Phillips?
Chef Steve Phillips,
Okay,
yes, please.
because we met him yesterday. So I know you mentioned rotis and a lot of other stuff.
Yes, please.
And you actually told me about the dish, your winning dish in 2016.
Yes,
Share
please.
with us about that dish, because you know I'm just waiting to hear more about it.
Exactly. My winning dish was polenta and grilled steak, served with curry banana and red wine sauce.
And remember, we had a deal. So we have to actually see that dish. Well, I want to see that dish and I want to taste it, as I told you. So I know you mentioned earlier that your family opened a business.
Yes.
Where
please.
is that business? Share with us.
That is Joshadi's Variety.
Joshadi's?
Yes, please. And that is located in Yearwood Road, Black Rock, St. Michael.
Yearwood Road, Black Rock?
St. Michael.
So folks, don't forget that name. Okay,
Which we specialize in, as the Bajans cuisine would like, sauce on Saturdays.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Put it in sauce.
Yes, please. That's the main attraction.
Okay.
Yeah.
So going back to 2016,
yes, please.
How did you prepare yourself for that competition?
Well, in the competition, it's about taste, it's about texture, and also about looks. Because before you could even taste something, you have to look at it first. So if it's not presentable, your mind will be to it. So you can actually eat the place with your eyes.
Yeah.
So that's the most important thing. And if you love something, it won't feel like a job.
Correct.
If you have the passion for something.
Yeah.
So once you keep your passion and your consistency going, you're going to be a great chef.
Excellent. I agree with you. So which organization were you connected with back then when you joined the competition, got involved?
Barbados Vocational Training Board.
Oh, the BVTB.
Yes,
okay.
please.
So I've been waiting to get into this part. Dubai. You were a representative for Barbados 2017 to Dubai.
Yes.
And when most persons hear about Dubai, we think of luxury, we think of the Middle East, we think about food, drinks, far away, fantasy place. You were there in the middle of it all. Tell us about Dubai, your experience.
Honestly, the experience was one in a lifetime experience. It was great. The atmosphere was great. The cooking, I got to try different dishes, and it was something that I would try again.
So where did you go? Where did you visit in Dubai while you were there?
We visited the desert.
Okay.
And then we went to Mitzrif Mall.
The where?
Mitzrif.
Mitzrif?
Yes, Mitzrif Mall.
A mall,
in the city,
shopping mall.
Yeah, that's in Dubai City.
Shopping, yes.
Yeah, because we stayed in the United Emirates.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
And then we also went to the stadium there.
Okay.
Which is the Dubai Stadium in the city.
Okay. So was there like a camp location for everybody to stay at? Was it a hotel?
It was.
You all
we
stayed together?
Yes, please. Me and the team stayed at the hotel.
So the Barbados contingent stayed together in one place?
Yes, please.
And the other countries, they would have stayed at other places?
Different places, yeah.
And you got to meet them, you made friends, you networked.
Yes,
you're still in contact with some of those persons?
Yes, please.
Oh, that's
we
great.
stayed at the Holiday Inn.
Okay.
In Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
In Dubai.
I heard about camel when we were talking earlier. Did you get to ride a camel in Dubai?
Yes, please. I did ride a camel.
How was it? How did it feel?
Well, that experience was very different. It was very different to horse.
Oh, you rode a horse before?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a really good experience, and the exposure was great.
Okay. So you're a winner, because I still see you as a winner. You're a business lady, a business person. Give some advice to our young people out there looking to open their own business.
Well, my advice to the youth out there is to never give up and keep consistent. Consistency is the key, because if you give up on yourself, you have to remember you have to push yourself, because the only one that can push you is you.
That's true.
So you have to be motivated by yourself in whatever you do.
So then what would you say could have been like one of the challenges that you had while opening your business as a business person? Something that when you look back, you'll say, you know what, that was not a good experience, but I learned something from it.
Well, in opening a business, I say it's good to make mistakes. Mistakes are not mistakes. I take mistakes as lessons.
Okay.
And to learn from them. Mistake is something that you will learn what not to do next time.
Okay. All right. So what was what you call the best thing or the most positive experience you had about opening your own business, owning it? It belongs to Tanisha Hall.
Well,
this is mine.
It was such a great experience, and I don't even regret doing it.
No.
I have a passion for cooking, and that will always be my passion.
Okay.
So I love whatever I do. In the kitchen, it comes like fun. It don't come like work. As I said earlier, if you love doing something, you will never get tired of it.
Okay. So we're going to go back to 2016 again, because within everything, when you do things, you have to have a support system.
Yes,
and I know your mom is here today. She's very, very proud of you.
Yes.
And yesterday when she started talking about you, I can see how proud she is.
Yes,
how did your family support you in that competition?
Well, my family supported me very strong, and my main support is my mother, Deidre Burt. She's my main support, and she always will be.
Yeah. So did she help you cook? I mean, as you were prepping at home,
yes,
did you try dishes?
She helped
did
me
she
prep.
taste them? She was your taste tester?
Yes, please. Every time I go and try something new, I'm like, Mom, you could taste this.
Okay.
You could try this one, you could try this one. But I love creating different dishes.
Yeah.
A different texture of dishes.
Okay. All right.
I like to have fun.
Okay. So as they would say sometimes, any last words?
For everyone out there, be consistent in everything you do and keep up the good work.
Right. Excellent.
Thank
so there
you.
you have it. Be consistent. Don't be fearful. Stick to your guns. Love what you do. Have a passion for it. And like Tanisha Hall, you can be a winner too.
We're going to take a little break now from the cooking, make our way around the room here at the Lloyd Erskine Sanford Center, and I've made a stop at Robot Adventures. Rochelle and Kezia are currently here with me. Good afternoon already? Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you guys doing right now?
A little nervous, but we're happy to be here.
Yes.
Oh, no need to be nervous. I know you guys know all about this stuff. So tell me all about Robot Adventures.
All right. So, Robot Adventures, like the name suggests, it's a brand that's heavily focused around the robotics and coding space. Mainly right now in this phase of our business, we are dealing mainly with education, as well as providing mentorship and a bit of coaching as well. So persons can demystify robotics from the things that they see on television, but kind of getting a chance to see, okay, how can it play out in their lives, and especially with their children, how can they get into this field? You know, are there career options that they can pursue in the future? So along with the private lessons and teaching that we do, we also do a bit of keynote speaking as well. Our founder, Mr. Jelani Payne, he does a bit of keynote speaking as well. He and Rochelle, they're responsible for the career coaching aspect of the brand. And we also do a bit more of the entertainment side. So there's availability within the brand. We have it such that person can have us and experience robots for them, their very own selves, whether it's a party, whether it's an event that they're having, and that's a bit of what we do.
Now, you said a lot there, and I'm certainly intrigued. I was going to head over now to Rochelle because I heard that you have a lot to do with the coaching aspect of things. So, if I am to join Robot Adventures, what are some of the first things that I learn?
Well, the first things you will learn are just how the robots would work and how coding works, because we program in several languages. We do Scratch Junior. Kezia is actually the instructor for that.
Yes.
So we do Scratch and Scratch Junior, Arduino, Python.
Yes.
Am I missing anything?
No, you've covered them.
Okay, yeah. So we will learn the coding, and then we'll learn robotics, and we will learn to put them together, the electrical aspects of the robots as well as the mechanical aspects of the robots. So you get to learn everything when related to robots.
Not all at the same time, but
yes,
you get
Okay, this language, that language. I heard no English. Yeah, but no, trust me, it sounds very interesting. I'm looking here now at the board, and I guess you guys know what's on it. So I realize that in terms of ages as well, I see some very young ones on this board as well.
Yes, that's part of our brand. We start as early as 5 years old, and we go all the way up to 17. So those private lessons that I told you about, those function not in the typical way that a classroom functions, but we have what we like to call the Robot Adventures Club, where we have the students come in. It's mainly on Saturdays. We run it for a block of sessions every term, and we choose which category we want to tackle. So for example, we might do infants, and we might choose to teach students who are at that completely novice level. Maybe their closest interaction with robotics is maybe that toy that somebody bought them for Christmas. So we take them from being just the novice child, just knowing of robotics, to really understanding, okay, what are the basics of it? How can I operate a robot? How can I put together a robot? So those are some of the things that they learn. And like I said, we start from as early as 5 years old, and we go all the way up to children who are 17 years old.
So in other words, I'm excluded at the moment.
But at the moment,
at
yes.
the moment, but let's
yes.
start to make our way up the table.
Oh, okay,
now,
no problem.
We had the career, we had the learning, but what do we have in front of us here right now on the table?
All right, so we have one of our triangular type robots. This one I especially like because it has the feature to be able to self-correct. Usually when you're driving a robot and it butts into an obstacle, it will either keep literally attacking that obstacle or it's going to stop. But this has the unique ability that if you ride it over something, because of the tracks, it goes over it, and if it topples over, it still has the ability to keep going because of its shape. So that's one of the things that I like about it. Moving along, we have what is known as the hexapod. So this comes from that family of robots that helps students to understand a bit more of nature. So the robot itself kind of mimics a pattern of an animal that they do. In this case, it's a spider. So you expect the movement to be just about the same, yeah. And this is actually one of our more advanced robots. This one is one that we would use for the senior level. So we wouldn't necessarily start our junior students with something as advanced as this, because there's a fair amount of coding that goes on behind the scenes to get us to do what it does. But it is one of our more advanced level robots.
Trust me, I'm very intrigued. I'm wondering, is this one of the ones that works?
Yes, it is one of the ones that works, yeah. Okay, you can see it in action a little later if you want to.
No problem, we'll definitely get us. Let's keep our way going on the table now.
All right.
So this is one of our mobile robotics. And so this one functions similar to the tank.
And this one has the additional feature of having like a claw to pick up anything. And this is one of our line following robots.
I don't want to stop right
Yes.
claw, so I just make it remote for me.
Potentially. Usually it's like a circular object, like a bottle or something.
Okay, so
Yes.
can I count you guys to pick a TV remote when I feel lazy?
Well,
We could probably,
if you have a big enough TV remote, or you
Yes.
put it in something like circular to hold it, then yeah, sure.
we could hook
Pay
you
me
up
no
with a
attention,
robot
no
that
worries.
does
Yes,
that.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Let's keep going now. Don't mind my shenanigans.
No worries. Keep going.
Oh yeah, so we were saying this one is a line following robot. So if you have a thick black line, it will just follow the line.
Yeah. It
on
has
its own.
some sensors on it, and those sensors help the robot to differentiate between colors. And essentially, the robot thinks, okay, like, all right, I need to stay on black. Like, once I'm on black, I can travel in a straight line. So the robots have ways of determining where they're going and keeping on that straight path in the same way that we human beings can kind of orient ourselves, like, all right, I want to get to a certain place, and we know we have that line in our minds that we're following. Well, the robot uses sensors to be able to keep itself in line and keep going along that straight path. Continuing on, we have one of our drones. So this one is one of the Tello drones. This is kind of like an introductory level drone that we can use with students. It's nice and small. When it turns on, you'll hear it for sure. But it's not as loud or as big as those drones that you'll find in industries like agriculture or fisheries or anything like that. So it's perfect to get students and adults started. And you'll get a chance to see what they look like in action a little later. Following on, we have one of our penguin robots. This one, the action kind of mimics that of a penguin, but it makes some noises. It makes some noises that are pretty cool, but as you can tell, it's one for our younger age groups. Then moving on, we actually have the robot that got the brand started. This one has been coined, I didn't name it, but this one has been coined before my time. Carol George, our founder, Mr. Jelani Payne, when he first got started, Robot Adventures would have started as an after-school program, and this robot would have taken the club, because he was at a local public school, and they were working on it in the robotics club after school on particular evenings, and this robot took them about 2 years to complete. Reason being is because when they first started, they started to add a lot of additions to it, but then they realized that it wasn't built and designed for that. So then it took some time to source some additional motors and what's not to get it functioning. So this is where we started. As you can see, there's some kind of homemade elements in there that the students added. Yeah. You have a battery pack made out of cardboard, some popsicle sticks there. So that gives you a little bit of a picture of where we started and where we've evolved to, so to speak. Yeah. And then we have our last robot. This one falls into the same category as the other hexapod that we were looking at before, from the same brand as well, but I'll leave you and let you guess. What animal do you think this represents?
I thinking spiderish along the lines of something else. I don't know.
Go again.
They like I see on Sesame Street.
So
it got enough legs for the octopus.
Yeah,
spider.
so it's a kind of spider as well. I suppose depending on the angle you look at it, you would think it's an octopus on first glance as well. But yes, this falls into the same category as one of the other hexapod. So moves in a similar fashion, but of course this is one of our more complex robots. As you look at it, you realize that it has a lot of moving parts, and this just goes to show that there's diversity within the brand, because people often come to look at robots and they think, man, those are toys. They might originally start out at toys, but even the most simple looking toy, you realize that as you advance and as you go through the levels, they get even more and more complicated. They have a lot more moving parts. So then this is where the students are required to have that knowledge. And when I say required, I mean they don't need to come to us knowing it, but this is what we're going to teach them. Move them through the levels so that robots can move from just being regular toys that you control with a remote control to actually being toys that, or I should say robots, not toys, that can do something, Yeah.
Yeah, so quite a lot going on. And talking about going on, I'm looking now at the floor now, and I see that there's a robot in action right now. So what is this that we're seeing moving on the ground here?
So this one is called the Tumbler. I think the name will give you an idea of why. You'll notice that this is functioning off of 2 wheels as opposed to the typical 4. So of course there has to be something in there stabilizing it. And yes, there is. So there's something in there called a gyro, and that helps the robot to remain stable even on the 2 wheels. And if my colleague here, if she were to stop, you'll notice that similarly to how a motorcycle, when you stop a motorcycle on 2 wheels, how you have a stand, well, it will tip forward and it will rely on that stand. But then from the time you turn it on, that gyro springs into action again, stabilizes the robot, and then the motors are able to do their thing.
One word to describe it is cool.
Yes, it is.
Thoroughly intrigued at the moment. Now, I know that you guys were doing a bit of a drone demonstration on the inside as well. So we're going to try to get our viewers to have a chance, I guess, probably see what that could be like before we head back out to close off today. So let's make our way past Mr. Tumbler. Nice to meet you, Tumbler. And head over here now to the drone, I'm going to call it a drone race almost, section of things.
Just get whoever's phone is ready and you basically go ahead.
So we're about to see now just a bit of the drone in action before we close out what will be the first session here in the World Skills Barbados Competition 2023.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to do what is the basic or the default way to take off. That is from the home base. And we are going to have one of our teammates essentially try to get through the obstacle course that we have here. And this is one of the experiences that we're offering here at World Skills. We are allowing for persons to come. You don't have to have any experience doing it, but you get the chance to come and you get to fly the drone in a controlled environment, and you have a bit of an activity to do, some obstacles. You know, see if you can put some of those video game skills to use, see how good you are. Yeah, but I'm going to hand over to our teammate Robert, and he's going to pretty much give you a go and allow you to see what it's like to fly the drone through the obstacle course.
Well, Robert, go ahead. Let's see your drone skills at the moment. No pressure, by the way.
Shift you over.
And Robert is easily through that first circle at the moment. So quite a lot on offer here today. Day number 2 of the World Skills Barbados Competition 2023. We saw cooking part B. We saw the restaurant module as well, and say it is all about the banquet. Still a lot more action to come as well today. Well, guys, that's pretty much it for the morning session here at the Lloyd Erskine Stanford Center. Always a pleasure being here with you, and more action to come this evening as well. So make sure to join us once again. But until then, have a good one.
World skills for young and proud visions. World skills, creativity